March 21st, this is Bob Iacchino along with Mike Arnold from Path Trading Partners. PM Path Chat covering the futures markets. If a market falls and there is no one reason, did it actually fall? Something I ranted about a little bit in the stock PM Path Chat, the afternoon update for the stocks, the individual stocks. I don't want to rehash it, but one of these days where the dripping into the piece of paper or the paper towel finally broke through, and I see all these people on TV, of which I'm one, but I see them all on TV trying to give one specific reason why it happened or pointing to several things that mattered today that don't always matter, and it's just a frustrating thing. You're going to see moves on here that happened regardless of whether you can pinpoint why they happened or not. So please, if you didn't listen to the stock Path Chat or you're not a stock trader, just listen to the last one just to hear what we say about it, because it is one of the things that as ethical traders and ethical quote-unquote advice givers, we want you guys to understand that what matters so much more than why, and that's why we trade price action. Mike, it's all yours for the futures update.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Bob. I'm also going to cover transports and the Dow in here. Not the Dow futures, just the Dow index, because of the moves today. Dow transports we haven't covered in a couple weeks. They've been on my charts. We don't always cover them, but we were looking earlier at a target of 91.19 after we broke this trend line, which we eventually hit. And then we retested yesterday. Today, we came down to the end of a clear path move and a rising trend line. So this is pretty critical support for the transports in here. If we do rally, watch for a retest of this breakdown zone around 9,018, right in there. If we do get a close below the trend line, the next two levels down, 88.15, followed by a GAN level and end of a clear path. And I'm just going to go with the higher level of 87.63. Let's switch over to the Dow Industrial Average. See the big move today. Got through a little GAN area here, which I talked about earlier, 27.95 to 27.50. If we continue lower, watch for support coming in about 26.09 to 25.68 is key. And this yellow box is really my long-term support area. We have a rising 50-period exponential coming in. We have GAN levels. This is my area I'm targeting should we have a further decline. If we do rally, watch for resistance around 27.52 to 27.92, right in here. Prior breakdown zone, the 21's rolling over a bit. If we do get a rally, it'll flatten out, but that's going to be some key resistance area. Switching over to the S&P. Again, if you see yellow boxes on these charts, that's my key area for a longer-term pullback, watching for a potential reversal trade. In this instance, it's coming between a 23.3275 and 23.1570 levels on the S&P E-mini. In the middle of that, we have the rising 50 period. So those are the key areas I'm looking for. If we do rally on this, I am watching for resistance at 23.45, 23.50, and 23.55 to 56. If we get through there on a bigger rally, 23.63 is the next key level higher. Finally, NASDAQ, which has been the strongest one. We did get a very large sell-off through the trend line, even through to 21. It was a narrow rotation zone. That's not necessarily a good sign for this. If we do rally up, watching for resistance at 53.50, 53.57, and finally 53.75. On a continued sell-off, we have end of a clear path, some very key points, and a GAN level at 52.95. So watch for temporary support there. Then longer-term support, I'm looking at 52.51 to that 5300 level, which will refine in future path chats. Taking a look at crude, which was supposedly going to be a driver of the markets today. Why we sold off. Crude did not sell off that much. It sold off a bit. We talked about this in this morning's patch chat. We got below yesterday's low. We hit the 48.42 level. We reached down to the 47.93 level. Our official low was 47.99. Looks like we may hit that 47.93, which is another key GAN level. Getting below there, tomorrow we'll be watching the 47.60, followed by the 47.09, followed by the 46.89 levels. If we do rally, 48.77 area is going to be resistance. Then we're looking at about 49.27, followed by 49.61. Finally, quick look at metals just to round out everything. Copper, pretty big day downside today. We were looking on a downside to hit 261.76. If we went lower, we went slightly below that. Found support at this longer term trend line, which is still holding right now in the early evening session. If we get below that, watch for 259.38 to 258.82 level for key support, and below that end of a clear path move, 257.79. On a rally, this 261.76 level is now resistance. Above that, we have 262.48, followed by 263.43. Gold, decent up day today. We were targeting for an up day, the 1246 level, and the high today was 1247.70. That was hit with a significant level and a prior high move. So that's going to be sort of a finding point. We have an area coming in with a declining trend line. If we get above that, next major level we're looking for is 1257.40 to 1258.90 area, followed by the 1264.60. If we reverse and go lower tomorrow, key support right around 1231 to 1230 and 1227. So there's a lot of support right in that area that I'll be watching for. We also have the rising 8 and 21 coming in that exact area. That's what I'm watching for support. Silver, not as big a powerful move. We were looking for the 1768 on the upside, did not hit yet. That's still an upside target should we continue higher, followed by 1781. If we pull back a bit, lots of support, 1750, 1746, 1742. That's a very key support area. If that's all broken through, watch for 1738, followed by 1725. That's all we have for you. I'm turning it back over to you, Bob.
Thank you, Mike. Quickly, in the crude move and the copper move, the crude oil move, there were actually people out there saying that, again, this was people not believing the OPEC talk of an extension of the production cuts. That's what people said it was. Somehow on TV, they can see what people believe of the news that is coming out. It was just extension of short positions, liquidating more long positions, and a continued price action move in the direction momentum was taking it. Copper, there was very specific news. BHP Billiton reported that they've got the Escondida miners back to the table to negotiate. So that is actual news in terms of supply disruption. Also, Freeport-McMoRan and their Grasberg mine in Indonesia is now operational again. They still don't have their export license, but they're back to mining for copper. So it's assumed by the market that they actually have an in on getting their export licenses back. So there was actual news in some things, other things, price action. That's all you really have to worry about is price action. Money Pat Podcast, we go into a lot of these things. If you like what we're doing here, click like and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.